Everyone's super excited. We've been having a great week of practice, coming off a good win versus Robert Morris, and just really excited that it's tournament time.
Next, we'll go to Nico.
Thanks, Tyler. And a similar note to that, Stephen, does this feel like a new beginning for everybody? It's the NCAA tournament. I mean, everything that happened before this almost doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit today at practice with some of the players and just saying how it is a new season. It doesn't matter what your record was, what your seeding is. Everyone's starting. All 16 teams are starting in the same place. And it really is just an entire new season. And everything you did before is kind of wiped away, and you have a clean slate, which is nice.
Next, we'll go to Lindsay.
Hey, Stephen, good afternoon. I do not have a Chase Scanlon question, but my question is just kind of be fair to you guys and the veterans. You've clearly been very vocal on Instagram with your statement and on wearing some One Love insignias from last game about saying something, about sending out a message, about making a stand. That's clear. You've been very public about those instances. Do you as a leader or the leaders have anything else you'd like to say or share about that message and how that came about?
Yeah, I think our team was just getting a lot of publicity. Our team as a whole usually gets a lot of publicity just based off of the location and our success and the history of the program and whatnot. And I think it was just a great time to bring awareness to a cause that we're all pretty passionate about.
Can you tell me how the Instagram message was written, how it came about, and how the I don't know if you call them tattoos or emblems you wore the other day? Who's been behind all this?
It's all the players.
All the players?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Next, we'll go to Tyler.
Stephen, first off, congrats on the all ACC honors today. Also, congrats on being drafted into the PLL, since we haven't spoken to you since that happened. When you got that call, what was it like for you, just emotionally and mentally?
Yeah, I had been contacted a couple of days before the draft, just asking if I had been interested in playing in the PLL, and obviously said definitely yes. And that was really cool. I watched it with my whole house. I have a lot of housemates that are on the team, and they're all really excited. It was a fun night. So, and it was also nice to see Jamie and Dirth get drafted as well. Those guys deserve it.
And just to follow up, if I may, do you plan on playing this summer for the Cannons?
Yeah, we'll see what happens with training camp and if I can get on the active roster, but that definitely is a goal.
Thanks. Next, we'll go to Andrew.
Hey, Stephen, I wanted to ask a little more specifically about Georgetown. And when you guys have kind of watched film or just what you've seen from them throughout the year, the defense is kind of what they've seemed to be known for, letting up like 2 combined goals their first 2 games and like one of the top defenses the rest of the way. I guess what allows them to kind of succeed defensively, or what's maybe different about the system that they have set up that's difficult for opponents to attack?
Yeah, I think they have a really strong defense. One of the things we've been talking about in practice is just how compact their defense is. They've got a lot of good cover guys. They have good short sticks. They're pretty aggressive. So really, I just think they're solid everywhere, and they've got a really good goalie in cage. So there's no real weaknesses anywhere on that defense.
Thank you.
Roshan.
Hey, Stephen, I wanted to ask a little bit more about Owen Seabold. How do you feel like he's kind of fit into the lineup since he's been added?
Yeah, it's been a seamless transition. He's been playing great and practicing in games for a long time now. So when we needed him to step up, it really wasn't any sort of question of how he would do. I think he's been having a great year. And I think like I said earlier, it's just been a seamless transition. He's been really easy to play with, and he's just added a different dynamic to our attack. You've obviously been able to see he can feed, he can score, and he can dodge really well. So it's been great.
Yeah, and if I could just follow up, you just said a different dynamic. Like, what specifically do you think kind of changes about the offense and its look with Seabold in there?
Well, he's a pretty big kid, and he's pretty quick, agile, athletic. So I think just to have a strong dodger down there that can really challenge the defense definitely adds a different dynamic.
Mario.
Coach Desco's touched on how well this group of captains has been able to lead this team. Over this last month or so, how have you kind of taken that role and kind of ran with it, so to say, to try and bring this team together, not only yourself, but your other captains through what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a really good group of captains. I think we also have a really good group of guys on the team. I think we all just have common goals, common ideas, common interests. Try and get input from other guys too. For me, a lot of it is just learning. I remember my freshman year here having captains like Evan Malloy, Paulo Safari, and then other guy, and then Scott Furman, and then other guys like Nick Mariano. Just always looking up to those guys and kind of the way they handled things, the way they carried themselves, and kind of just tried to emulate that myself.
Back to Tyler.
Steven, now that we have reached the NCAA tournament, obviously there's no certainty of whether or not there will be a next game. So what has been the mindset amongst you and some of the other older guys, knowing that this could very well be your last game donning the orange uniform?
Yeah, obviously that's a big deal. Obviously we've talked about that. Really just trying to focus on taking it one game at a time, and it's really not that hard to do. We know we have to play and have to beat Georgetown this weekend in order to keep playing, in order to have another week of practice, and we all really want that. So doing whatever we can to make that happen.
Nate.
Hey, Stephen, I just wanted to follow up on an earlier question from Lindsay. Obviously, there was a lot of reports about you guys not willing to show up to practice under certain circumstances. Was there validity to all that? And how did that decision come about? Was that a captain's decision that you went to your head coach with?
And I appreciate the question, but as we talked about, that dives into kind of specifics of some stuff that's been going on over the last month. And as I said previously, we're not kind of at liberty to talk about that due to federal privacy laws at this point. So we'll move on to the next question if we could.
Can I ask a
Yeah,
follow-up?
sure, absolutely.
Sure. What did you guys want to hear when you met with the athletic director?
We met with the athletic director, but to be honest, just want to keep that conversation between ourselves and him.
Sure. Thanks.
We have any other questions for Stephen? We'll take them now. Otherwise, we'll kind of move on to Drake. We got a couple minutes before he hops on at this point. Anything? All right. Thanks for taking